Do you have a PlutoSDR software-defined radio connected over an Ethernet connection and happen to be looking to connect this to the SDRConsole v3 software? Well, if so, don't go anywhere because today on Signals Everywhere, I'll be teaching you in just a few minutes how to do exactly that. Today's video is sponsored by our patron sponsor of the day, Cash Olson. Cash, I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking your time and money to help devote some of that to Signals Everywhere to help move this channel forward. And of course, I thank all of my patrons and subscribers. And if you guys are interested in upping your software-defined radio game and learning more about software-defined radio communications, be sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Now, before we get started, I am going to assume you already have a PlutoSDR software-defined radio connected to your network over an Ethernet connection. If you don't, I'll have a card somewhere on the screen or a link to the video in the description below where I teach you how to do exactly that. Once you've done that, head back over here where we are going to go ahead and add our PlutoSDR networked address to our list of radios in our SDRConsole v3 definition files. Once you have your PlutoSDR connected to your network and it's up and running, we need to go ahead and come over to definitions in our SDRConsole v3 platform here, and we need to add our Pluto's IP address to the definition file. Go ahead and select Add, and then from the DLL, go ahead and select PlutoSDR from the dropdown. We have this new address field here, and this should be the only thing we really need to change. If we go ahead here, we need to keep this IP colon in place. And now, from here, we just type in the IP address of our PlutoSDR. In my case, that is 192.168.0.40. If you happen to follow along with my previous videos, this is the IP address I gave my PlutoSDR. If you gave your PlutoSDR a different IP address, be sure to place that here. And finally, before we can add this PlutoSDR to our SDRConsole v3 definitions, make sure that you take a look at our range here. If you provided your PlutoSDR with the modifications that I did in a previous video, links in the description if you'd like to do it, for wideband modifications, you can leave this range setting alone. However, if you didn't make that change, you're going to go ahead and want to change this so that way it reflects better the proper range of the PlutoSDR. I'm going to make my low end 330 megahertz, and I'm going to make my high end somewhere in the 3 gigahertz range, just so that way I don't have any problems with the PlutoSDR not liking the range that SDRConsole is trying to use, because the Pluto I currently have connected is in its stock condition. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and press OK and then save. So you can see I have my USB PlutoSDR, which is designated with the serial number, and above that I have the Atom Pluto, no serial number. This is the one that is networked using an IP address. From here, we can select our bandwidth, anywhere from 550 kilohertz up to 6 megahertz. However, generally, I don't recommend going much higher than 3 megahertz, but you can play around with this depending on your network configuration and how your Pluto is working. You may be able to get 4.5 or so without too many drop samples. So just kind of play around with it, but 3 megahertz should be your safe zone on the high end. I'm going to go ahead and select 2.5, and we're going to go ahead and press Start. Our PlutoSDR should now be up and running. I'm over on 929 megahertz because I know we have a paging signal here. And at first glance, it kind of looks like it's not working. But you'll see here, there is actually a pager signal over here that pops up occasionally. You want to grab this slider and just make sure that you don't have it set too low to see anything. And now we can see there is this pager data that is coming in over that particular frequency, 929.6 megahertz. And with that, I hope this information was helpful to you guys. I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedules to take a look at this. And if you know anyone who might find this interesting or useful in any way, please feel free to share this video to them so we can all learn together as a community. And finally, if you'd like to help support the channel, please head over to signalseverywhere.com/Patreon, where at even our $1 tier, you'll end up with access to all of the videos on the channel early before they are publicly released, as well as a shout out on random videos and your name at the end credits of every video that I upload to the channel. And without further ado, I thank you again for taking the time out of your day. I love you all very much, and I will see you in the next one.